Today on the show, I'm going to share with you how to save 6 figures or more annually on your enterprise training programs. And even if you're not running a Fortune 500 or S&P 500 company, the step-by-step process I share with you today will help you save thousands, if not $10,000s of dollars as well. Now, the 3-step process I'm sharing with you today is the same exact step-by-step process I take my Enterprise Learning Accelerator partnership clients through. And if you are a owner, a COO, or a VP or director of training of a company making $50 million a year, maybe you have 200 to 500 employees, and maybe you are fed up with your legacy e-learning platform, or you're looking to modernize things and cut costs so you can exponentially increase your training revenue at your organization. If this is you, then I highly recommend that you learn more and check out my Enterprise Learning Accelerator partnership program. It is the highest level program that I offer at eLearning Partners, where we literally become your e-learning partner for your organization so we can grow your business together. Step 1, we start with an audit. Now, you may know my background is actually as an accountant. I studied really hard for my CPA certification, did my online courses, and ultimately earned my certification. Went and worked for PricewaterhouseCoopers for a short stint in the IT audit team, where we would go in and audit the IT systems of organizations. This is actually very similar to what I teach my coaching clients, my one-on-one coaching clients, to do with their entire learning business, and what I do with my Enterprise Learning Accelerator clients on the training side of their business. What we really want to do is I want you to make a bullet-pointed list. And I know you are really busy, so this list really only needs to be 1 page long. And what you're going to do is write down everything that you and your team are spending time and money on each year to run your e-learning, your online courses, your learning experiences, your training programs at your organization. A bullet-pointed list. Keep this really simple. Bullet point list everything that you are spending time and money on. So we want to start there. I want you to consider questions like, how much are you spending on your technology? This is really important, because even if you are happy with your current e-learning technology stack, depending on how old it is, you may be grossly overpaying. And I'm talking about 5x to 200x what you should be paying. But Johnny, how could that be? Well, the first commercially available computer was available in the 1950s. You know how much money it cost? $1 million for that computer. You know what that is approximately in today's dollars? $12 million. And guess what? That computer did a lot less than what your cell phone, your pocket computer, does today. And how much does your cell phone cost? For some of us, we may have even gotten our cell phones for free. For me, I got my cell phone for free as part of a promotion with my carrier. As long as I use my carrier for 2 to 3 years, I got my cell phone for free. $12 million free. There's no catch here. And that's the thing I want you to think about when you're looking at your e-learning technology. You may be spending somewhere between $50K and all the way up to $1 million a year if you are running a $50 million a year business. If you are running a smaller business, you may look at this and be like, yeah, you know, I'm scared to even start spending money on technology because this is what I've seen. Well, I have news for you. When we get to step 2, I am going to blow this figure out of the water so that you can immediately save 5 to 200 times what you may be spending on your e-learning technology right now. So definitely, as part of your bullet pointed list, I want you to ask this question. Another question is, how much money and staff hours is your team using to manage the technology, administer training, and develop new training every year? So money and staff time, including your time. Maybe you are the only staff member because you have a smaller company. Whatever it is, I want you to come up with money, staff time to run your programs. This could be taking care of the technology. This could be training team members. This could be, if you're selling programs, this could be training your customers. This could be recording trainings, on-demand trainings. This could be building learning experiences. What does this equal? Maybe your department is somewhere around 10 to 20 people. That's typical that I see with the organizations that I serve, is 10 to 20 people. And I want you to think about, what if we took that time and that money that you're investing, and instead of investing it in activities that aren't producing more revenue, we double down on the highest ROI pieces of your learning experiences, of your programs, and then we exponentially grow your revenue, because we don't need to necessarily get rid of any staff or money that we're spending. We just need to take this and funnel it towards ROI. And that's why we want to do this audit. The third thing I want you to think about, are you leaving any money on the table because of X? And I just want you to think about what X may be for you. Let me give you an example. One of my Enterprise Learning Accelerator partnership clients, CoStar. We've been working together as of recording this podcast episode and video for about 3 years. And one thing we identified early on, and this is something that I've identified with a lot of companies and a lot of smaller businesses and individuals as well. You could be leaving thousands, if not tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table just by having a clunky user experience for your point of sale. What does this mean? This means that instead of having your e-learning programs, your learning experiences, your online courses easy to purchase within 1, 2, 3 clicks, you can't even find how to purchase, or you have to pick up the phone and call to order licenses. And hey, I understand, because you may be selling tens, hundreds of licenses at once, like my client CoStar or my other client GeoToll. But what if your customer could purchase your e-learning programs as simple as you and I can purchase anything from Amazon? How much more money could this create for your organization? And how much more money and staff time can we alleviate having to take those calls, put those invoices together, granting access to the programs and the product, digital product, or even books that your customers are purchasing? What if we automate all that? And we do it 5 to 200x less expensive software. That's what I want you to start thinking. Are you leaving money on the table because of X? This could be anything. Once you complete your audit, we're going to move to step 2, which is simplify. And I specifically invite you to use one of the most powerful tools I have ever used in my entire life. And you can use this in anything, but when we're talking about saving our companies 6 figures annually, millions of dollars over time, this principle becomes exponentially powerful. The 80-20 rule, also known as Pareto principle. And we apply this to our audit. Quick review of what the Pareto principle means is, it has been proven that 80% of the results that you are getting in your business, in your training programs, in your training department, come from 20% of efforts. So the 20% creates the 80%. And this works back and forth. 80% of what you're doing creates 20% of results. So I ask you, would you prefer to focus your efforts on the 20% that's creating the 80%, or the 80% creating the 20%? It's really a no-brainer. So you know that bullet pointed list you put together? I want you to start organizing it and figuring out what is the 20% for your e-learning programs, for your e-learning business, for your learning experiences. What is the 20% that you and your team need to be focusing on that are getting 80% of results? And then we need to start eliminating the rest. We focus on the 20% and eliminate the rest. This doesn't mean that you need to start eliminating staff. What this does mean, though, is if you find in your audit that you are grossly overspending on your e-learning technology, which means that you're spending somewhere between $50K and, I really hope you're not spending this, $1 million or more. There are some organizations making $50 million a year spending more than $1 million per year on their technology. We can right away eliminate this overspend and focus on the 20%. And what I really mean by this is if you have a legacy system or an antiquated system, we go back to the example of the computer. Modern technology can cost exponentially less and do exponentially more. Or do the same things that your current technology is doing, but more efficiently and effectively for you and your team. And to prove it to you that you don't have to spend this amount of money, I have two systems as examples. The first is Kajabi. Kajabi, which you may look at me and be like, well, I've heard of Kajabi, and that's for solo course creators, small businesses. Last time I checked, you go to Kajabi's website, there is a pro package that is built for enterprises. And if you need something more than the pro package, then Kajabi will actually customize the package and bring you up another tier. You know how much that pro package is? $5,000 a year. It's actually less than $5,000 a year. And you know how many learners it supports? 100,000. 100,000 learners. And if Kajabi is good enough for my S&P 500 client CoStar, it is good enough for you. Kajabi is, even if you're paying on the low end of your legacy systems, you're 10xing. You're spending 10 times more than you should be. You're going to immediately save 90% of your technology budget. If you are spending $1 million or more, you're 200xing. You will literally have a 99.5% decrease in your technology budget per year. You're almost saving $1 million a year just on technology. And then when you layer on everything else of how much easier it is for your staff to use, we exponentially grow how much savings that your company is going to have. Now, Kajabi is best for selling courses, selling programs, selling communities, selling virtual trainings, selling digital products. You can really sell anything using Kajabi, and it'll manage everything. It is a business management system. It allows you to manage the point of sale and delivery of your products and services at your business. But maybe you are focused on a high quality internal training offering for your organization. In that case, TalentLMS is the highest value internal LMS that I help my clients integrate. And TalentLMS, guess how much it is? It is less than $10,000 per year for 1,000 learners. And as you scale up, so if you have more than 1,000 employees, as you scale up your business and you grow from 50 mil a year to 100 mil a year to 200 mil a year to $500 million a year, etc., TalentLMS scales with you. So if you start with 1,000 and then you want 2,000, it's not going to be $20,000 a year. It's going to be less than $20,000 a year. The more users you have, the better your payment per user monthly and yearly cost becomes. And this is 5 to 100 times cheaper than your legacy system. So we want to focus on the 20%. The 20% means eliminating the rest, eliminating outdated technology, getting on technology that not only costs less, but is exponentially better for your business. It means taking the money you are spending and the staff time you are spending and double downing on the 20% that's growing your business. It means focusing on your 1 or 2 flagship online courses or learning experience that are driving most of the revenue and growing those instead of thinking, how many other programs can we develop? Even though they're only bringing in 1 to 2% of income, well, we have this other program that is literally making 75% of our revenue, and we have another program that's making 20%. Why not we go all in on the program that is bringing in 70%, 75%, 80% of our revenue? And we could even put some time into that 20%. This is how we not only cut costs and save 6 figures or more per year, but we start building our top line. So we're increasing our bottom line and our top line at the same time. So we're increasing our profit margin in addition to increasing our revenue flowing down to our profit margin. This is the best strategy in business. Let's decrease expenses and increase revenue at the same time. So our profit margin goes from 20% to 40%, and our revenue goes from 1 mil a year to 2 mil a year. So we've doubled our profit margin and we've doubled our revenue. Crazy. So this means that we were making $200,000 a year. If we just increased our profit margin, we would double our profit and go to $400,000. But we're also increasing our revenue. So we're actually quadrupling our profit and going to $800,000. This is why companies partner with me with my Enterprise Learning Accelerator. And you can be one of those companies too. Let's move to step 3, automate. This is also called my ASA program. Audit, simplify, automate. We audit first because we want to see the whole picture. Next, we simplify because before we automate anything, we want to make sure we're automating the right things. So we simplify our business model. We simplify our training and e-learning program business model. We simplify our department serving our learners, training our employees, training our customers, serving our customers. And then we automate the rest. We automate with AI and our team. And we do this because as you grow from a $50 million a year company, maybe making $1 to $2 million a year on your online courses, your learning experiences, and we grow to become a $100 million a year company, and maybe now you're making $5, maybe $10 million a year on your online courses and learning experiences, we don't need to hire more people because our people are becoming more and more efficient, and we're harnessing AI. And guess what? We're paying our people more. So we're paying our current team more instead of having to find other team members. So we have a partnership between AI and our people. Now, what do we automate? The 20%. And this is why it's so important to make sure that we have a software platform, a technology platform that empowers us to do this. Because even if you could make your legacy system work, the amount of money you're going to need to spend to customize that legacy system to automate what you need to is going to be vastly different than implementing a new system. And hey, if you are interested in any of the systems I talk about today, I have free courses for both of them, Kajabi and for TalentLMS. They're linked in the description below, along with a free trial of each system so you and your team can get things up and running, test it out yourselves, use the online courses to really figure it out yourself. And then when you start paying for the platform, I am also offering you my platform to profit strategy session where I sit down with you and your team and we go through the questions you have to really start customizing the system, automating the system for you. And maybe Kajabi and TalentLMS aren't the right systems for you and you want to figure out what the right system is for you in your business. That's where my e-learning platform Finder is going to be a game changer for you you and your team. In a matter of seconds, I'm going to match you with the best fit e-learning platform for your business to scale. And then, yeah, I'm gonna also give you access to that free course, a free trial, and when you start paying for that system, my platform to profit strategy session, so we can work on the system together. And then we're gonna use that system and your team to automate the 20% so that we can double down on the 80%. What if we could take the 20% that's driving the most ROI in your business, send all your staff time, all your time, all your money into it? If we sink it all into this, what would that do for your business? Now, the 20% becomes the 100%, and you will get exponential gains in your business. You're gonna save 6 figures or more. You may even save 7 figures per year. And you're definitely gonna save millions over time by integrating this 3-step process. And if you want help with this and you are an organization making $50 million a year, you have 200 to 500 employees, maybe you're having some issues with your legacy technology, maybe you just feel like your profit margins aren't where they should be with your e-learning and training programs. If this is you, I highly recommend that you learn more about my Enterprise Learning Accelerator program. See if it's the right fit for you, and I'll see you in the next episode.